Hi, I'm Shelley Wood. You might know me from shelleywood.com. This is my tiny sewing room where I make doll clothes sewing videos. Today I'm going to show you how to make a baby doll pajama top for 10-inch dolls like Skipper. But before we begin, please go to shelleywood.com to download and print this free printable sewing pattern. Use the free pattern to guide you as you cut out fabric, measure bias tape or ribbon, etc. Now create a double fold hem on 3 sides of the fabric swatch by folding the fabric once and then a second time, and from there you hem along these folded edges. On the other side of the fabric swatch, you're going to attach any rickrap or other embellishments like ribbon that might make this pajama look pretty. Gather the fabric along the raw edge side, the side that has not been hemmed. But do not tie a knot in your gathers just yet. Rather, set this fabric aside for a moment while we work with the bias tape. Now for this project, it says we're using 1-inch double fold, but I think it was a little less than that. Before you go any further, try it on your doll, making sure that the bias tape wraps all the way around her bust with a little bit of overlap for the closure. You're seeing it on Barbie, but this pattern works for Skipper too. Slide the fabric swatch in between the folds of the bias tape. You can see me doing this here, and notice I also fold that edge over. Then you're going to pin it. Here's the point where you tie off your gathers and fold that other edge inside. Use pins to hold the bias tape in place while you hem the edges and base of the bias tape. So you have to hem the sides, and then you just like that, and then you hem around the base. Put the garment on your doll inside out to attach the straps with straight pins, just like you see here. This is inside out on the doll. Sew the ribbon onto the bias tape. I used a little whip stitch. If you need help with the whip stitch, I have a tutorial for that. This is also a good time to attach if you want a ribbon or a button or other decoratives to the front of the bias tape. You can see she has a little heart-shaped button on the front of hers. Attach Velcro or sew snaps to form a closure. And here are all the steps again in a time-lapse video. You can see me doing the double fold hem on 3 sides of the swatch of fabric. I'm using a little whip stitch, sewing by hand. Now, in addition to the bias tape, I added a little bit of lace to mine. And you'll see I tried the bias tape on the doll to make sure that it wraps all the way around. Here I am attaching the bias tape. Remember to fold in the sides. And I added, like I said, lace over the top of the bias tape for a real pretty effect. Now I'm sewing the sides of the lace and bias tape shut, and then hemming with a whip stitch along the edge of the bias tape. And there I am hemming along that side again. Turn it inside out and try it on the doll while you adjust the straps. Now I've got the straps pinned, I can start sewing the straps on. And again, I use a whip stitch for that. There's a whip stitch tutorial link in the description below this video on YouTube if you need help with that. Now I'm sewing the little button on the front. There's the little button. A heart-shaped button really adds a nice touch to this pajama. Well, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos and free patterns, please tell your friends about my website, where you can find lots of free patterns for doll clothes like this little dress.